Well, on the 8th of May, I think it was when Ms. Juba was suspended, or they were compromised in the media. There was a big story about it. And Gavin insisted that we go and see Richmond Mit at his house that morning. And it was quite an early morning, so we drove through there. And at the meeting, Gavin Watson emphasized that both Mit and Juba were compromised and that Bosasa was at risk. He made a proposal on how it should be handled, and he was going to go and see the president soon, so he did a role play. He sat down Mit and he said to him, let me explain to you now what I'm going to do, and then I'll tell you how to handle it going forward. And his words to me, his words were, we'll tell the president what to do and how to sort these things out, because it was getting a bit much.
Who was he referring to when he said he was going to tell the president?
He was talking to Richmond Mit, and he was referring to the ex-president Zuma.
So a conversation takes place between yourself, Mr. Mit, and Mr. Watson.
That is correct.
At this time, the efforts of Bosasa, with the assistance of Ms. Juba, appear to be falling off the rails.
Correct.
Coming off the rails.
Correct.
And what is contemplated then by Mr. Watson is a visit to President Zuma.
Well, he had arranged the visit already, so it was going to happen. He was just telling, he was just telling Richmond Mit what he was going to do at the visit.
And during the conversation, from what I understand, Mr. Watson conducted a role play. He showed both you and Mr. Mit what he was going to say and how he would approach the president.
That's correct. If I might just add, he had that type of relationship with the president, where he could tell the president what to do. It was frequent.
Oh.
Was this conversation, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Did he used to have frequent interaction with the president, as far as you know, with the then president?
Yes.
People present were yourself, Mr. Watson, and Mr. Mit?
That is correct.
Okay. Was the occasion one of those regular meetings that you said, I don't know if you said monthly meetings that you...
No, this was an extra special meeting because he had heard via someone else that there was a problem and that they were going to prosecute.
Oh, okay.
Did you keep a copy of the recording? Or did
Yes.
you keep the recording?
Yes, I did, and I handed it over to the investigators.
Chair, the recording is Exhibit 3. Play the recording.
Yeah.
Juba tried to close it down twice, but Ramat didn't want to give the docket over to close it down. Then Juba...
I'm sorry, I omitted to place on record so that we can follow the transcript more accurately. Person 1, who is that? Yes.
Sorry, that's Gavin Watson.
Person 1 is Gavin Watson. Do you know who person 2 is?
Richmond Mit
And person 3?
is myself.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you.
Thank you.
took off the cop of this case, okay? But then the cop came back on, smuggled back onto this case, okay? And the person that's controlling the whole process is Breitenbach. And I want to implicate Willie, because Breitenbach and Willie still talk as well, Mr. President. It's a fact, okay? I want to say that, okay? The Willie's sitting on the fence, Mr. President. I know he's done things for you, but he's sitting on the fence. Wherever he goes, I can talk to him like this, okay? I want the whole document. I said to Angelo, they want to sit down. I want to make, but our facts have got to be right. I've got people at Clemenza working on their side, so I can get that right. And I'll say, this is Breitenbach's thing. All she wants to do is discredit us in the paper, so that when this thing comes up, okay, our agreements with the banks that come up, okay, overdraft facilities, and that come up, they throw this thing in the press. Always calling it up in the press. Or they want something to stick so that they discredit us in the press. Now, Mr. President, we need to get this thing closed down. We need the right people in the right place. If Manza's the right guy at that place, he's doing what he can. Now we need to get the right person at NPA. Either we get Chauke in, or Jiba, or the woman down in Natal. Okay? One of them got abused. Well, look what's happened to Jiba. Jiba is buggered up in the press. He told me that. He said Jiba's his person. Okay? Told me that. Just asked the question. We get on with Jiba. I didn't say that you organised it, we get on. Okay? Now, Jiba's been buggered up, and Web was also being buggered up. Okay? In the press. So how do we protect them, Mr. President, by putting the right person in there? I don't know who is advising, Mr. President, but you need to make the right decisions now. You haven't got much time to go. I think that's how I talk to you. Now we need to get our facts right. Okay?
But you have them so well.
Hey?
You have them so well.
No, I don't know whether the cock.
What else does one?
Hang on, you don't know whether it's the cock and who else on that side. Because there's the Indian woman there too, I hear. Who is there? Who is in that unit? We've got the opportunity now, you understand what I mean? And has Jiba got a letter of appointment that she'll be acting? Or not?
She had that one that was sent. Being asked whether she would be available with this fellow is being suspended.
But you see, I'm going to say, when this thing happens, Mr. President, suspend him and make him put our person in. Right?
She had accepted. She got it when late last year. When the president first spoke about it. Because I don't know, but the legal advice.
Have you explained to him what you've caucused and arranged to move, how to move those investigators and that, Gavin?
I just said, no, they've been moved.
Okay.
They've been moved. Schmidt's actually been, what they did, Rich, they called in the whole case. The man's called in the whole case. He didn't make his only Bosasa, called everything. You understand me? Okay? All the cases, he called them in, he's investigating them, but Bosasa was one of them. They don't want to make it up to the Bosasa thing. Then he's suspending Smith. Okay, because Smith is on contract. He's not even part of his unit. Also retread. The same thing as what happened to G1 for that police, Twitter. Same thing with us.